Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special pop-up type of shrimp tank podcast. Podcast. I don't know if I can say that, a pop-up podcast. Very special because I've got I've got Linda Popky, whom I want to introduce to you because she is one of our brand new co-hosts. I'm going to introduce Linda in just a second. This is a reminder to all of you that we do live stream every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Pacific time, high noon. Our next guest is going to be Nick Johnson from Libro.fm. And in fact, Linda is going to be my co-host for that. So I want to have a chance to introduce her, but please go to wherever you get your podcasts. We're ubiquitous. Go to wherever you get your podcasts. Sign up, subscribe, give us ratings of 5 and 5+ or whatever we can do and help spread the word. So today, the word is I'm going to introduce my longtime friend, Linda Popky. Algernon Sperber was unable to continue on as co-host, graciously had to walk away. So I brought in somebody who is a veteran of consulting, of marketing, of talking to people. And Linda, I'm going to tell you, you and I have talked a lot, and I know you can interview people. So I'm really excited to have you. Linda Popky, welcome to the Shrimp Tank Podcast.
Thank you, Dan. It's exciting to be here. I've been watching some of the podcasts, and great guests, great topics, lots of fun, lots of cool things going on. So I'm really excited to be part of this.
So let me tell everybody how I know Linda. Linda and I run in the same consulting circles. We're part of Alan Weiss. If you're not a consultant, you may not know who Alan is, but Alan is probably the rock star of all consulting, and he helps consultants like Linda and I and Phil Simchich, one of our other co-hosts, to do what we do. And we met through Alan's global consulting community. Linda, yep. You were there before I was, I think, but I joined the consulting community in 2008. So we probably met pretty close to that. You and I have probably known each other somewhere around 12 or 13 years by this point. And that's how we got to know each other. We are together in the Society for the Advancement of Consulting, SAC, and we do a lot of that. And so I'm really happy to have you. My first question for you, for all the people to get to know you a little bit, is how did you end up here? What's your journey? What's your own entrepreneur journey?
What's my journey? So let's see. I was on the corporate side for a number of years in technology. I live in the Bay Area, so in Silicon Valley. But I've always been a creative person. I've been a marketer, a writer, etc. So I did marketing, I did writing, and about 2001, I was at Sun Microsystems, and things were not going so well in the technology area. So when I left there, I had the opportunity to look at other jobs, and I couldn't find anything I liked. And someone said to me, "Why don't you try consulting?" It's like, I don't know, can I do that? So I did. I went out and got a consulting project, and I said, this is kind of fun. And here we are. So what I do is—
So you're like an accidental consultant. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you were like an accidental consultant.
An accidental
right?
consultant, yeah. Yeah, in fact, people used to say, when are you gonna get a real job? And I said, this is a real job. So it's much more fun. I don't know if I could go back inside anymore, because now I have a boss who really, holds me to all my my goals. But I also can talk to her about when I need to do something. I don't have to work within an organization. So what I do is
what's the hardest thing? Because we're going to be talking to CEOs and entrepreneurs and thought leaders of all types. And I ask them this question sometimes. I'll ask you, what's the toughest thing about your work as an entrepreneur? I mean, is it kind of feeling like you're a lone wolf? Is it having to no regular paycheck come in? Is it always finding new business? What's the toughest challenge that you face as an entrepreneur?
Well, that's a good, you've hit on a couple of good ones there. I have a good friend who says that consulting is sort of like chunky peanut butter. It doesn't spread evenly. So if you want to have that even every 2-week paycheck, this is not for you. On the other hand, when you get those big chunks where the peanut butter's on the bread, you get a lot of it.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing. You do have to go out, you eat what you kill. So you're not sitting there. No one is giving you the project saying, here, go off and execute. If you don't go out and do it on your own, it's not going to happen. And as far as being a lone wolf, yeah, you're right. We're all kind of by ourselves. And that's why SAC, the Society for Advancement Consulting, which I co-run with a business partner, is so important because we get people from all over the world. We have consultants from 14 countries. They're the best at what they do. And we put them together so that they can grow and learn from each other. And we have to have that kind of water cooler way of doing that. So even before the pandemic, we were bringing people together virtually. And we keep doing that, and that's important. So all those things, I think, and the other thing is you have to know when to stop, because you're working on your own business. You can do it 24/7. So you have to kind of push back and say, done now, I'm going to go do something else and leave the rest of the work for tomorrow.
So I'm a creamy peanut butter. I hadn't thought about the whole analogy of crunchy. Crunchy's okay. I'm a creamy one, so I'll have to think of how to work that in. Obviously the pandemic hit. You and I working as consultants. I know you work from home. I worked from home for all these years, so that wasn't much of a switch. What was the biggest change for you? Because you didn't go all of a sudden to working virtually. You always had been. What was the biggest shift for you that you had to make during this last year and a half?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, there are some basic things like I stopped traveling. I used to travel quite a bit, so that went away. But I also didn't have to go get on a freeway and deal with commuting in the Bay Area, which became difficult. But I think the biggest change was people started coming to me because in addition to doing strategic marketing, I help people create compelling content. And people kept coming to me and saying, well, now that I've got this pandemic and I'm not so busy, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a white paper. I'm going to do an ebook. So all of that started to change the way I do business, because I'm now doing business with people all over the world. I have a client in Australia and one in Norway, and I'm talking to someone in the Philippines. And things that people before might not have wanted to do remotely, it's like, oh, well, we're all on Zoom. We can do that. So I think it was kind of adjusting to the fact that everybody else is now into this virtual bucket, and some people are a little more comfortable than others. And how do we make them feel good? And how do we show that we keep getting done what needs to be done?
Right. So let's transition a little bit here. Hot or not, the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, so hot you can't even touch them.
Okay, so I knew that one. So I want people to know a little bit more about the personal Linda. I know you're a baseball fan.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more about the things you enjoy doing. I know you have a daughter that you're very proud of, and you're a dog person just like I am, although your dogs are a little bit larger than mine. Tell everybody a little bit about Linda.
You know what? There's a lot of things that I enjoy. I do have a dog. I have Siberian Huskies. I have one now. I've had as many as 3 at a time, which is a little crazy. And I know you've got the UW, logo there. So those are the Washington Huskies, right? So we do that. I'm into piano. I play classical piano, and I before the pandemic, I used to go to a piano camp in Vermont with other adult pianists. And after all of these years of playing classical music and loving it, I just a couple of years ago started to study jazz, which is sort of like unlearning everything that I knew from a classical perspective and starting over. So it's been a little bit of a humbling experience, but I'm learning how to play jazz and how to improvise and how to work from lead sheets. So a lot of what I do is around music. Now, in a pandemic, Zoom is not that good for music, but we make it work. It work. So I do a lot of that. When I can travel, but this year it's been pretty much sitting here and doing things from locally.
So what are you most looking for? Like I said, to plead the fifth, but it's not. What are you most looking forward to as being a co-host on the Shrimp Tank? And I asked this question to all of the new co-hosts a few months ago. What do you bring to the table? What do you think that you're able to bring from your experiences?
So first of all, what am I looking forward to? Well, first of all, it's great that you have this established brand. I'm a marketer, and I see brand and I see marketing, and I see people that are coming on a weekly basis to learn about business and entrepreneurship, So I think that that's absolutely wonderful and something I want to be part of. And what I bring to it is I am a marketer. Phil is more of a finance guy. And, I think you have someone who's a lawyer and someone who comes at it from a sales perspective.
Right.
But I look at everything from a marketing lens. I do a weekly newsletter called Top of Mind Thursday, where I look at everything. This past week, I looked at the brand name for Pfizer's drug, Comirnaty or something like that, which is the world's worst brand name. So I try to put a marketing spin on things and a business spin on everyday life to help people kind of figure out how they can be more effective. And that's what I'd like to do with our listeners and viewers and in interacting with our guests that sound like fascinating people.
Yep. Well, Linda, this has been fascinating. We just wanted to give a quick introduction to you because you didn't get one like some of the others did when we did when we brought them on. So now everybody gets a chance to meet Linda Popky. Your first guest, along with mine on next Wednesday, will be Nick Johnson from Libro.fm, and we're going to be seeing you once a month after that. And so I want to thank you for saying yes. Oh, I knew that was one last question. Why did you say yes to me? I asked that to everybody, and I got a variety of different answers. Why did you say yes to Dan Whedon?
Well, it just seemed like an interesting thing to do, and the timing was right. It was kind of looking for what am I going to do next? I've had my own podcast for a while, but things had sort of slowed down during the pandemic. And I was like, this is really fascinating. So it's a fun thing to do. Loved working with you, have the opportunity to get together with you on a monthly basis and do this. And it just seemed like a fun thing and a great way to add back, to give back to our listeners and our viewers.
Perfect. See, that was a really good answer. I appreciate. I have to go back and listen to what everybody else said now and compare. But everybody, listen. Welcome, Linda Popky. We'll be live next Wednesday, and again, it's every Wednesday, unless we have a weird thing happen like this week. But it's going to be every Wednesday. Put it on your calendar, noon Pacific time. We'll live stream from here. You can catch all our episodes wherever you get your podcasts. That's Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher. We're on YouTube. And of course, you can go to our website at shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle.
And we are ubiquitous, right?
We're ubiquitous. It's one of my favorite words. So we're ubiquitous. But hey, everybody, thanks a lot. We will see you next Wednesday. Linda, welcome. And as I say, for right now, until we see you again, be healthy, be well, be happy, be prosperous, all of that, because until next Wednesday, the shrimp is back in the tank. So long.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond, and the shrimp